We are here with Earle Hall, who is the CEO of AXES and also currently serves as chairman of the Gaming Standards Association, which is the guys and gals who are responsible for making sure all this wonderful technology throughout the industry with all the various vendors all works together. Earle, welcome.
Really good to be here. Thank you very much for the invite.
Good. Good to have you. And you've been at AXES now for a while, and you guys are growing, you're very active, probably still not a household name in terms of a lot of people. So tell us about AXES and what you're doing.
We're a boutique firm, so we still have the luxury of choosing the projects and the clients we deal with. The market is slowly catching up to us. I think cybersecurity and COVID have been the two big catalysts for the industry to finally say, you know, we might be safer if we were sitting on Amazon Web Services, and we might make more money if we had real-time data. So as the world progresses, what we do is becoming the standard. But in the meantime, we've had the most amazing year dealing with clients that want to be at the forefront of real-time data to fuel artificial intelligence algorithms, to fuel their cashless strategy, and to get to know their clients in depth instead of them just being somebody holding a postcard coming in for a promotion.
So how do customers interact with AXES? What services do you provide?
The very first thing we provide is that we replace the systems that are out there. So, and I say that with a smile because it's a tall order to be able to say something like that finally. But when AXES shows up, you can get rid of 10 to 15 systems that you have running in parallel. Probably one of the saddest parts of the land-based gaming industry is you need 10 to 15 systems just to run a casino. So when we show up, we pick up the data in real time, it goes to our cloud, and once it's in the cloud, we have over 50 apps running in parallel in real time that do everything from soup to nuts that a casino right now would have maybe 12, maybe even 15 companies doing.
You're a technologist. Your company is involved, and you've already touched upon two areas that I wanted to ask about. Cybersecurity. What is the industry doing? What should it do better?
Well, I can only speak at what I do is, like I call it, a day job, which is far from a day job, but we focus on the land-based, whereas the gaming standards focuses on all the segments. But at AXES, our focus being land-based, can you imagine in 2023 if you were going to say that your money, your investments, your stocks, your bonds, your gold was safer at home than sitting in a vault or sitting in a bank? So I think we've hit the point with all of the very negative and sad events that are going on lately. I think we've hit the point where the industry is starting to ask itself, would we be safer to be in the cloud? And the answer is yes. If you look at all of the major banks in the world, they're all in the cloud. If you look at anything like healthcare, defense, they're all in the cloud. They've been for years. So I think it's time for our industry to understand that the amount of money it costs to invest in cybersecurity, you're better off dealing with specialized organizations, specialized firms, and being somewhere where the reaction and the tools is much more advanced than trying to do this on property or on premise.
As recently as a year or two ago, it was a science fiction term, and today it's a buzzword. That's artificial intelligence. Tell us about it.
So artificial intelligence really got its legs in the 1950s when NASA needed to start predicting where they could land on places like the moon. But why has artificial intelligence become a buzzword today? Well, as best I can see from my research, in the month of May when ChatGPT showed up in the app stores of the Android and the Apple phones, all of a sudden something that was esoteric before is now just an app on your phone like Uber or anything else. So people are starting to realize that you can ask a complex question to an algorithm and get back a really decent answer. So what does that mean for our industry? It means if you have an on-premise system, you're in a lot of trouble. Because you're in a closed language, you're in a closed environment, you probably don't have very fine, granular, clean, deep data. You're not getting information in real time. So unfortunately, the majority of our land-based industry is going to have a struggle to use the power of artificial intelligence without being cloud, without being big data and real time. But for those that have already dipped their toes into the ChatGPT waters, it's just incredible what you can get back if you feed it the right amount of information. And all of the people that are scared of artificial intelligence, well, that's just ignorance. People say that the queries come back and they're not in real time. That's not true. ChatGPT right now reads pictures. It's connected into scholarly research. It's connected to the web in real time. So when you have the right technology, the right platform, if you have information in real time, you can do wonders with what's happened this year with AI. And it's not a buzzword anymore. It's a club now. You're either in the club and you're building your future, or you're not in the club and your competitors are stealing your clients without you even knowing it.
One of the things that has been around for 2 or 3 years before people start talking about artificial intelligence, and they're still talking about it as being the future, is cashless gaming.
I've given up talking about cashless. It'll just show up on its own. For the very simple reasons, cashless has nothing to do with cashless. We have ATM machines on casino floors. We have kiosks. People have apps on their phone. Outside of the land-based gaming industry, we've been cashless for a couple of years. I got a smoothie this morning and there's big signs saying we're cashless. But in the land-based gaming industry, the open loop providers have made it too complicated. The friction to get online is too complicated. Downloading the app and going to the machine is too complicated. And like I say everywhere, because we've been cashless for 15 years. Cashless is about player engagement. It's about real-time information. It's about understanding your players so that they have a better experience. If it's just about bringing money in from a banking environment into an app, there'll be no cashless in our gaming industry, in the land base. But that being said, there's companies starting to understand that when the player is sitting down at the machine, you gotta know who they are. You gotta know how to treat them properly. You gotta know how to reward them. That's what cashless is really about, because money transportation, that's over. That's free now. If you look in Canada with the Interact system, if you look at the companies in Europe that are offering blockchain rails to move cashless, there's no money to be made in cashless in the long term. It's all about player engagement.
Any other issues out there that you think deserve more discussion than they are receiving?
My biggest worry, besides cybersecurity and besides cashless, it's really the fact that the more offline systems that are out there. So to qualify what I'm going to say is, you don't know what you don't know until it's too late, usually. So right now, when I look at the major properties around the world that are hosting their data on site, they're using legacy systems where the data is coming in 5, 10, 15 minutes too late. They don't know that they don't have clean, deep, rich data. Because they don't know that artificial intelligence won't work properly. So right now, when we talk to each other next year, we'll be saying, wow, artificial intelligence has done a jump of 10 years in 1 year. But the organizations that haven't paused and said, what does our data look like? Is it clean? Is it deep? Do we have multi-denominational? Do we have multi-game data? Is it in real time? If they're not asking themselves those questions, those that do are going to be light years ahead, because artificial intelligence is going at a speed nobody ever predicted. Nobody, including the experts. So that's probably the big point. Security is number one. Cashless has to be our foundation. But right now, anybody that's not gone into a panic phase to analyze the quality and quantity of their data and the availability of it, they're commercially and competitively in a lot of trouble.
A year ago, I asked my standard question of, are you going to go public at some point? And at that time, you indicated that you would. Is that still the plan?
Most definitely. To go public in the way we want to bring Access public, it's a 3-year project to get all of the systems online, all of the different parts of the due diligence, and we're getting really close. Now we're getting into the phase where we're looking at what are the market conditions like for the right valuation. So when your shareholders getting to the point that we're looking at what would be our list price, you're getting to the exciting part of the play.
Good. What should folks look for at your booth this year?
One, the best team in the industry. That's the most important point. Everything else is very much secondary to me. But besides the team, you can actually see real-time transactions, generating real-time promotions, generating real-time rewards. You can do real-time analysis of events. Like we can show a potential fraud event and see how it reacts inside of the system. You can see a client trip over a switch where they should be a silver player instead of a bronze, and because they hit a certain threshold, automatically they're updated. One of the cool things in our booth that is even outside of our traditional things is we've finished our DOOH strategy, our digital out-of-home strategy. So we're currently upgrading all of our clients worldwide to a media screen that streams ads from all of the media buyers in the world. Why are we doing that? Because our media screens now are a source of revenue for our clients. So when the BMWs of this world buy publicity on our screens all over the world, well, we share that revenue with our clients to make sure that a slot machine is not just a place where you can make money from play, but there's other secondary ways of making money, and the media screens are really cool. It's been a 2.5-year project, and now we've got almost 5,000 screens put out into one market. So besides what we do as core business, real-time everything we like to call it, our digital out-of-home strategy is moving along very fast, and you'll see that our team likes to have a lot of fun. We don't take things really, really serious. And you'll see the future in our booth.
Sounds like an irresistible invitation. Earle, thank you very much.
Nice to see you again, and thanks for having me in.